Good morning, gentle listeners of the South Coast and beyond. I believe we have listeners from all over. So from wherever you may be listening today, good morning to you. We had a question from Joseph to chat about change and challenge, how to cope with change and challenge. Now, I'm sure you've all heard the expression that the only things that are certain in life are death and taxes. And we certainly know about the taxes. Everything's going up and, the changes and the challenges, that is part of life. That said, change happens to all of us and it's all around us every day. Just think about the regular increases in petrol price, in the concomitant increase in the cost of living, groceries. And then, of course, we have the things like illness, death, job loss, etc., that are all dramatic changes and challenges. That said, again, life is not designed for our convenience. We all know that from the time we can remember, we have either fallen down or had these challenges that have, and I have to add that without challenges, we will not grow as human beings. If you are sometimes not forced to face a difficulty, you will not use your resources, your imagination, your creativity, and your initiative to find solutions to those situations. So, although these challenges and changes, and those two words I find interchangeable for the purpose of this discussion, can be inconvenient to say the least, they also force us to grow. So life is not designed for our convenience. We have these challenges and changes, and that means we sometimes have to acquire the skills and the knowledge and the mindset to face them. Okay, so what does that all mean? Let's unpack that. The only alternative to not getting the skills and knowledge to face challenges in whatever form that skills and knowledge may be, would be to stagnate and to be battered and pushed and bounced from pillar to post by life and the vicissitudes of life. So, what do we need to cope on a practical level with life changes and challenges? Right. For firstly, I would say clarity. You have to know what you want from life. You have to know where you are going. Because as they say, if you don't know to which port you are sailing, then any wind is favorable or any wind will be unfavorable because you don't know where you are going. So know what you want, have a clear goal, and with that goes know your values, know your personal core values. Then the second very important thing to cope with change is confidence. Confidence in a nutshell means I'll be okay no matter what happens. But confidence, we also know, is situation specific. So for example, you may be very good at fixing a motor car. If I brought my car to you and say, please look at the brakes or do an oil change, you could do that, no problem. And you're confident that it will be fine, it will be successful. However, you may not be confident when it comes to public speaking. We've all listened to some poor individual who's been up there behind the podium, and we have just felt their lack of confidence, and we've been almost embarrassed on their behalf. And then there are other people who are very confident public speakers. They don't mind whether they speak to 100 or 1,000 people. They're confident, they engage with their audience, they're in their element. But oh goodness, don't ask them to change the oil in the vehicle. They would be at a loss. So being confident means knowing your strengths and weaknesses. Now, we all know our strengths. We know what we're good at. We know in which situations we are comfortable. And we know what knowledge we have. Our weaknesses, on the other hand, we sometimes are not that aware of or choose not to be that aware of. And there may be weaknesses that we are quite comfortable with. For example, I really have never been good at ball games. If it involves a ball, I suck at it. But I'm a pretty good runner. I'm a good orator. I have done judo at national level as a much younger person. So if it does not involve a ball, I am pretty confident that I could acquire the skill and master the game. But if it involves a ball, I'm not good. I'm not confident. And you know what? I'm okay with that. And that is another crucial aspect of your weaknesses. So you know you're not good at something, and you know what? You're okay with it. You have no great desire to be good at it. Another example, I'm not particularly good with numbers, accounting, never been my forte, don't enjoy it, not good at it, don't really want to do it. So I would not apply for a position that would involve working with numbers. But I am, as I say, I'm good with I'm a good orator. I speak 4 languages. I have a very analytical mind, so I'm very good at research, at analyzing data and reproducing it in a form that is valuable. But the weaknesses that you need to improve, that is where you need your awareness to be. So if you have weaknesses such as maybe poor communication skill, maybe poor impulse control, so you lose your temper quickly, maybe your weakness is you are not as up to date with certain computer skills that you need in a position. You need to acquire those skills which will make you more confident, and as a result you will be more in demand and more flexible in a variety of situations. So that gives you confidence, and that makes you deal with challenge. So if you are transferred within an organization, or if you are retrenched, for example, you have a skill set that you can use to apply for other positions or to accept a transfer into another department. That is just one example. So the things that affect your happiness and your quality of life that you are not good at, you need to make an effort and commit to acquiring the skills and the knowledge so that it can improve your happiness and your quality of life. As I say, if you're a poor communicator, short-tempered, need a certain skill, or you work in a certain position but you're not as good as you ought to be, that will erode your confidence, because you never know when you're either going to be, let's say, caught out or be replaced. So you will be living in a state of anxiety and not be confident, not be secure in your position because of those weaknesses. The next thing I want to chat about is mindset. I'm sure you've all heard and read the truism that says, as you think, so shall you be. So is your mindset, I'm a victim, the world is an unfriendly place? Or is your mindset, I'm capable, I can cope with anything, and I will face this challenge and I will come out tops the other side? It's very, very important to have a positive mindset. If you are negative, if you are pessimistic, it is going to make coping with changes and challenges very, very difficult. But if you are positive and optimistic, your natural inclination is to see the bright side, is to see options and to see the possibilities, and not to say, woe is me, I'm defeated, I might as well curl up in a ball or go outside and eat worms. You will definitely be able to see the positive side. Changes and challenges will not hit you as a disaster. You will see them as something to that, in a sense, forces you to employ your resources, your imagination, to find solutions, because every situation does have a solution. So changes are accompanied by challenges. It's inevitable. That is life. But let me just interrupt myself there. The changes could be the difference between being in free fall or negotiating a speed bump. That is the difference. So on a practical level, what do you need, Joseph, to cope with life's changes and challenges? Well, as I said, accept that life will challenge you. And this, as I say, is a good thing. Personally and professionally, you'll be challenged in your professional life. You'll be challenged in relationships. And you need to embrace that and say, I will be better than the situation or the problem that is in front of me. Decide to face them head on. Don't, as they say, duck and dive and try and face them head on. See what you need. Get the mindset of, I can handle this, as opposed to, I don't know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, and there certainly are situations where we don't know what to do, then get professional help. Get the necessary skills and knowledge to succeed, to overcome. You know, there is not a professional, successful athlete in the world, in any sport, in any activity, that hasn't got or hasn't had a coach. We see the coaches when we watch tennis, the coaches on the sideline. We see the swimmers. We see in any professional sport, the boxers, the coach is there. Every successful athlete has got a coach. Why should you not have one to succeed in whatever area you are in, or whatever area you are having trouble with at the moment? And even before you have trouble, get a coach, get a mentor, get someone who can expand your skill set, who can increase your confidence, because confidence is at the bottom of dealing with life's changes and challenges. Successful people get the help they need to succeed. That is the bottom line. And I want to add to this, the Greeks have a philosophy called eudaimonia, and I do hope, if we have any Greek-speaking listeners, it's not one of the 4 languages I speak that I pronounce that incorrectly. That means to flourish and to thrive. And what do they say we need to flourish and to thrive? The one thing we need is purpose, and we all know how often we've heard people say in talks in general, what is the purpose of life? What is my purpose in life? You need to know your purpose in life. So Phil Knight, the guy who invented Nike, the sports brand, he said, my purpose in life is to sell affordable running shoes in the USA. Well, I think we can all agree that he has succeeded admirably and has got an international brand, well, that needs no further explanation. That was his purpose, and he succeeded at it. The other one who had a clear purpose was Steve Jobs, the man who invented the Apple iPhone. And his purpose was, he said, my purpose in life is to put a ding in the universe. And again, I think we can all agree that the smartphone, the iPhone, has changed the way we communicate. It has changed artificial intelligence forever. There are 2 people that come to mind who have succeeded admirably in life. And I think, and I stand to be corrected, that Steve Jobs was fired from Apple at one point. And he did return to them. And again, please, listeners, I stand to be corrected. But I know he faced a change and a challenge in life. And he faced it head on. And he beat the challenge, well, admirably at the very least. He did that. He did not curl up and die and say, well, that's me, where am I going to go from here? He came back, as they say, if they throw me to the wolves, I'll come back the leader of the pack. And that is exactly what he did. And I'm sure Phil Knight of Nike faced many challenges on the road to the incredible success that Nike is today. They didn't just, start a brand, ran with it, and 24 months later they were where we know them to be today. It was not like that. But they got the skills, the knowledge, the support, the expertise, and the determination, the vision and the imagination to succeed at their single-minded purpose. So clarity is key. If you don't know what you want, you will flounder, because any port will be good or any port will be bad because you really don't know where you want to be. So the first leg of this little tripod called Flourish and Thrive is know your purpose. The second leg is then acquire the skills and the knowledge to succeed at your purpose. Get a mentor, get a life coach, get the skills, get the knowledge, and be curious. Be a lifelong learner. Don't say, well, I can now play the piano adequately and that's what it's going to be. I really want to be a concert pianist, but I am not going to try the next piece that will challenge my existing skill set. So again, whether you are a tennis player, a golf player, or a pianist, if you want to succeed, if you don't want the next person who is curious, who is adding to their skill set, who is constantly improving, to surpass you, to knock you out of the game, you have to be a constant learner. And as they say, sharpen your axe. I think it is one of the 7 habits of the book by Covey. I can't remember his first name now, who wrote the book, the 7 habits of the most effective people in the world. And one of them is sharpen your axe. Continually sharpen your axe. That's your skill set. If I'm a chopper of trees, my axe will get blunt. And if I don't sharpen it, I will not be a very good and eventually become an obsolete chopper of wood, of trees. So keep the axe sharp. Learn, expand, grow. Then the last leg of this tripod is moral courage. In other words, you need to have the courage to put the skills and knowledge to use in such a way that it speaks to your personal values, in spite of commercial or social or familial or cultural pressure. I had an example many years ago, a young doctor who came to me for some life coaching. And to me, it is a perfect example of having the skills, the knowledge, your purpose, and the moral courage. He worked in a practice where the other doctors were totally anti-abortion, and he was not pro-abortion, but pro-choice. He felt it was women's right to have the choice. And so in spite of the pressure of his partners within that practice, he decided he will remain true to his values. He had the moral courage to say, that is what I believe. That is one of my values. And that supports me in my purpose to live and thrive and flourish. And that is a good example. So if your boss says to you, oh, I'm going to work this fiddle, or a colleague, but please don't tell on me. You cannot not tell. You cannot go contrary to what your moral convictions and your personal values are, because that causes an issue down the road, internally and eventually externally. You become complicit. So it is know your purpose, acquire the skills and the knowledge to succeed at fulfilling your purpose, and have the moral courage to put your skills and knowledge to use in such a way that it does not contradict your personal values. And to me, in a nutshell, one can expand on this, but Joseph, to cope with life's changes and challenges, for one, know that is life. It's like breathing. You can't want to live but say, I don't want to breathe. The same with life. You cannot say, I'm part of life, but I don't want to be challenged. I don't want to have any changes. That is counterproductive. It cannot be, because life will challenge you. There will be changes. And you then have to have the mindset that I will face them head on. And if that means I have to get a coach or a mentor, I have to acquire the skills and the knowledge to face that challenge, I will use my imagination, because my mindset is such that I'm a can-do, as opposed to a woe is me individual. And then to have the 3 legs of the tripod, then you will succeed. Then you will face the challenges, which are inevitable, with confidence, which makes all the difference in the world. But confidence is not something we are born with. It is a consequence of getting the skills and the knowledge to face what life throws at us. So I hope that was useful. I hope, listeners, that you can get something of value out of that for you. If you would like to contact me, please do. It would be my pleasure and my privilege on 082 330 2439. Or you can email me at Lee Foulis, life coach, one word lowercase, at gmail.com. And last but certainly not least of all, you can contact Ryan at South Coast Radio and let him know what you would like me to chat about. And yes, anything and everything is on the table. I am happy to accommodate that. And I wish you all a very good day. Go and learn something new. Stretch yourself, as they say, push out the boat, push the envelope, and become more confident in your ability to deal with life's challenges and changes.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.